Alright there, geezers. Jules here, joined by my absolute favourite tarnished of all, James Daly, and we are here today in front of you to talk all things Elden Ring, but mainly what the hell is going on with the new DLC trailer that just dropped, because I've watched this and my brain did so many somersaults and loops that even Patches was just like, whoa, chill out, mate. So, James, welcome. Let's have a little chat, because I know that you've prepared a special presentation by way of the trailer for the new DLC that is coming out very, very soon this summer, and we're going to watch it through and figure out what the hell is going on, right?
That is right. So, hi everybody. I'm going to show the trailer to Jules. The way that we're set up, Jules isn't going to get the audio of the trailer, which means that I might have to, maybe hint at a few things. The dialogue is fairly cryptic for most of it. I don't think it's a problem. But I also have this lined up, and there are a couple talking points, because there's a great interview that Eurogamer got with Big Miyazaki himself.
Just to be clear, I have actually watched the trailer myself, personally, when it came out, because obviously, why wouldn't I? And I can just basically sum up all of the sounds for you as questions, vague questions, and lots of ooh, ah, ooh, music in the background. There we go. So that's basically what you're missing. Right, let's kick things off with Shadow of the Erdtree. Let's go, baby. Thing is like just immediately so excited for the fact that this is actually happening, because of the fact that it's been on so many people's wish list for so long. And yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I'm going to just point out that the theory has been for a long time, and I'm sure you know this, that when you beat Mohg in Mohgwyn Palace, there is a cocoon with Miquella in the back, because Mohg, we believe, stole this from the Halig Tree. And our theory has been among fans, and I fervently believe this, is the DLC will be accessed via this egg. Because in Elden Ring, you might remember, Jules, you can lay your hand on either Fear or Godwyn, I forget which one, and during Fear's questline, and you are transported to Godwyn's dream.
And obviously the hand that's coming out of there could be used to grab you straight in. I'm pretty sure that Iron Pineapple put out a tweet saying, I called this years ago, so yeah, fair play.
Yeah. So that's our belief. So a lot of us will know this, and a very easy place to get to as well once you've defeated Mohg.
I like the fact that they're not going to, they haven't put the DLC potential starts too far into the game, because sometimes they do that and it's like, I'm going to have to start a brand new run. Whereas this, you could actually feasibly get to it within a few hours. Well, tens of hours.
You can, because of the Vare quest line. Because of the Vare quest, you can be there too fast, really. You'd be severely underleveled, but you can get there.
Look at these vistas, man.
So, interestingly here, I can't work out whether this is Lanedale or not, which is obviously a big part of the game, but there are gravestones everywhere. We did see those gravestones.
Ooh, ghostly.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
I don't like there being... Obviously, an afterlife is one thing, but being an afterlife gravestone maker... God, talk about a niche audience, mate.
What a terrible spectre to be reborn.
I get to live forever. Doing menial labour. Fantastic.
Oh, sorry, my cat just meowed. Did you get in here?
The second cat that's interrupted the recording.
Okay, we've got a guest for this video, everybody. We've got a guest. Behave, all right? Behave. So this right here, we think, is the Erdtree. It looks darker than normal. You can still see the gold running through it, but... What
were the veils that were coming off the side of it?
I would assume the darkness is the shadow, like it's a corruption. I would assume, based on that. And the reason I think that is, can you see this great rune? That does not track with any great rune we've seen so far. So I think this is Miquella's.
Right, that would make a lot of sense, considering that they're the star of the show, or at least the hinted central focus.
Which would suggest, if it is Miquella's, that there'll be a new tower, because there are towers in Elden Ring.
Which you could potentially see in the background.
And then you activated the Great Rune, and then you could use it, right? So I think that's going to be it. And I think, my theory is it will be a corruption, it'll be a shadow of the Erdtree, because I think Miquella has been corrupted by Mohg, and has become... has been reborn or has ascended to a Lord of Blood, which is why I think Messmer the Impaler, I think that's going to be Miquella.
Okay.
But that's in my opinion. It's not everyone agrees with that, but I'm convinced that they've done a Berserk Griffith moment where Griffith is the Holy White Falcon and is reborn as Femto, like the evil version of that. And I think they've done the same thing, because Miyazaki just steals from Berserk liberally. He just goes, I like all of it, it's mine.
I remember when he first came out with Demon's Souls and was like, yeah, big fan of Berserk. A lot of stuff is inspired. It's like, do you mean inspired? Do you mean actually just taken? Because there is a lot of stuff that is there. The lawyers are just like, screw it. He's too lovable. He's too lovable. The question that I have for you, though, here is new helmet design. Anything that's worth reading on the back of that?
Right, so I think it is a new one with some nice floral motif. It reminds me a lot of the Cuckoo Knights that you find, and it reminds me of the knight in Raya Lucaria, who still serves
That's
the
what I was
Carrion
thinking,
Royals,
that maybe
I
it's
think.
got some importance
So-
to this image here of like maybe you're going to be part of a new knightly order or something like that to go on this quest. I don't know.
Now that would be interesting because we know in the past you've been able to join covenants, and in Elden Ring it was a bit of a different approach to that. You didn't really join different. You sort of did. You could like become a bloody finger and sort of things, but it wasn't the same. That reminds me of Havel, that outfit.
Oh yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
Oh, and this will be the Poison Swamp. Now, as I understand it in an interview with Eurogamer, Miyazaki did talk about poison swamps, and they were like, "Oh, so I'm back." And he's like, "Yeah." And you know, there's that meme about bro will make a poison swamp instead of go to therapy. He said like, "Oh, it's like a source of it was like a source of reflection and introspection for me." I was like, "Yeah, I want to put this in." It's like, so literally the meme is real. Miyazaki did it for that.
It's a source of like introspection, but he's come out the other side not having learned anything. He's just gone like, oh, people hate poison stuff. People loved Blighttown back on the original Dark Souls. Let's put more of that in there. People loved Scarlet Rot. That was fantastic.
I genuinely find it amazing. Genuinely.
Fair play.
But yeah,
talk about double...
creepy. There's like a body in there. Whether that's a boss or not, I don't know. But
this place looks fantastic. I love this. And the character here on the throne looks absolutely amazing. For some reason, the way that the head is turning there makes me think that the head is revealing something on the other side, like there's some disfigurement or maybe even another face on that. I don't know why I'm thinking this, but when I saw it, I was like, it's such a specific choice to shoot from that angle.
You see, I like that angle as well, especially when you think about when you meet Rani, she has like a ghostly face.
Yeah. Maybe there's some sort of like other spectral body around there.
That'd be cool. This looks like more kind of rotting place, which is, thank God for that, right?
Yeah, I know. Fantastic. At least it's not as bad as the yellow... What was the yellow gunk called in Dark Souls 2 that was like everywhere, that was all over the encrusted weapons?
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but it like destroyed your
sucked.
items immediately.
It sucked.
Yeah, like goddamn. Right, so this reminds me of the Bloodborne trailer, the portrait here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I don't know who this could be, but like I'm getting like that Golden Order vibe looking at this.
See, for me, I don't know why, but I'm thinking of what was the Dark Souls 3 boss that you fought? Sister Frida with Father.
Oh, Sister Frida in the Painted World DLC.
Yeah, I'm getting this sort of like vibe from that pair there.
I like that.
And that golden brooch.
You
like, if you look at the detail on the brooch on his cape and on
So
her
ornate.
wrist, they seem to be sort of like drawing focus quite a lot there. They seem almost like slightly textured in a weird way, like you're meant to. There's going to be a deeper meaning behind those two items in some form.
Almost like eyes on the guy's clasp on his coat there.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. Could it be a young Marika? Could this be like the original guy she picked for Elden Lord who failed? Do you know? Could it be her father?
It kind of looks like a butterfly or a moth in a weird way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, like there's a lot of butterflies used around in Elden Ring. What are they used for again? They are.
We can find a few. There's like Aeonian butterflies and smouldering butterflies.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like smouldering butterflies. That's what I was thinking.
I think it looks like a number 8 as well on her, like drawn in black ink almost.
Yeah.
Like it looks like someone's corrupted it. It'd be interesting to see. Just to see a bunch of Alexanders. Like maybe this is where they're made.
Yeah, the pot factory.
That looks very cool. Like it's a lava level, but it looks very cool.
I'm immediately having harrowing flashbacks to bloody Dark Souls 2 and the smolder, what was his name? Smelter Demon. Just,
the one time I played Dark Souls 2, I skipped that fight because I turned off the furnace and I'd walked past, and then a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you missed out a fight." I was like, "I don't feel bad."
Yeah. You did not miss much.
Talking about that, like the absolute unit here, this looks terrifying.
Oh man, and look at the design on the face as well. That sort of like tendrilled sun mask. It's like if Solaire truly was like burning up from the inside.
Oh my god, this is what happened when the sunlight maggot got on him.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It'd be interesting. Also, just to draw back to, again, when I said I didn't know if it was Lanedale before, that looks very Lanedale to me, but it could be a different place. Because the trailer talks about a war. This might be the side that lost.
Well, they said, didn't they, that this area of... Sorry, the DLC expansion is going to take place in a new area, but you'll be able to travel seamlessly between this and that. So it may reuse assets in same areas, but treat them in a different manner. But... would people really be that happy with having like the same area just with a different coat of paint? I wonder if they would completely set it apart. like in terms of architectural stuff.
That is interesting, actually. I'll hit play on this again in a minute, but that is interesting because I think if we are going to have a time travel element, which a lot of us talked about years ago, the idea that you touch Miquella's arm and we go back in the past and it's Miquella before he grew the Erdtree, then it would make sense that the world is the same but not.
I get what
the
you
one
mean,
thing
yeah.
I find interesting about this is it looks like the grace of gold coming off the tree is flying over this. Is that what would become crumbling Farum Azula? Is that crumbling up into the sky? Is that being sent away, Zelda style? Did they go, we need to send the dragon community out of our reach because they're going to lose this fight? Is that what it could be?
Yeah, that definitely could be it.
So obviously we got the big flame boy again. What I love is that we are like a minute and 13 seconds into this trailer, and I've just talked non-stop at you. Can we just take a moment to appreciate Jules putting up with me?
This snake boy having a big old chomp here is just absolutely hilarious.
It's very Bloodborne, I think. Now, this reminds me of I forget his name, sadly. I guess it might be Farosh, but it's the lion that's on the shoulder of Godfrey.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I really,
So,
really...
interesting to see whether that's where he came from, or whether it's a case of, like, you know, another Empyrean has one, or another warrior.
The thing that I wanted to... If you can go back to looking at his breath attack there, it's like he's shooting out, like, pure dust, effectively. Like it's soot, or it's, like... debris, almost like he's such a mishmash of a creature that he's got like nothing left in him. But I wonder how that smoke attack or breath attack is going to affect the player, what it's going to inflict.
So my theory on that, and thanks for bringing it up because I forgot to mention this, my theory on that is this could potentially be, depending on when it's set, this could be a sort of a Godwyn figure who's become the prince of death. This could be the dusk. It could be. It potentially could be the black god-killing flame. It doesn't look like a flame to me, but it could be that.
Not quite.
But this could be the rune of death and the effect it has, because when you get the Duskborn ending in Elden Ring, the world kind of has that grey tint all over it.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
So it could be natural death that this guy, like maybe in the way Malekith has taped the rune of death to his hand, it could be a guy who ingested the rune of death to keep it secret and failed. Maybe this guy died, got corrupted, and that's where we come in, and that's why Malekith ends up with it. Because it could be like Dark Souls 1, where Artorias never conquered the Abyss. We did it.
And the same thing, if you look in the background of that shot there, that definitely seems to be like some sort of catacomb-style housing bit behind him. So maybe you're fighting in like a graveyard, which would then push your death angle a lot further.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's worth pointing out lots of branches, and there is the Erdtree, many of us believe, is a parasite of the Great Tree. Yeah. And there's kind of evidence to that, because where Godwyn, his body was laid to rest, was in the roots of the Great Tree. So these could be the dying roots of that tree before it's sunk underground, maybe? Because there's a whole underground city around it. Was it always there? We know that the lands between, in many areas, is sinking because the rot is making it. It's why when you get to Liurnia of the Lakes, the reason that everything's sinking is because the rot underneath is destroying the structural integrity of the land. So maybe something else happened here. Of course, I could just be making all this up.
The lightning attack,
like all of it could be copium.
The lightning attack looks amazing, by the way. Looks so good.
Now here's Mesmer, who, so it has been pointed out by people, a snake could be related to Rykard.
But also potentially the same bracelets we saw on the painting earlier on.
Yeah, potentially there as well. I think, so my theory is I'm convinced this guy is somehow related to Miquella and Mohg. Now Mohg, of course, is not directly related to Rykard, 100%. He's like a half-brother, because Mohg's mother is Marika, and Rykard... It's a bit weird, because Rykard's father is Radigan, who is also Marika at the same time. So it's like they are kind of related, but maybe they're not. This could be another child of that lineage, because there's more unaccounted for in the Golden lineage and the other lineages.
This is why I absolutely love Elden Ring and From Software lore in general. It's just them just going like, it makes sense. Just don't think about it, though.
So with that, my theory comes from a few points. The simplest ones are red hair, like Radigan, and a gold eye. Could be like Marika, could be like the Golden Order, could also be like a snake, and could also be like the dragon communion, because when you eat the dragon hearts and get the powers, you look more draconic. So My theory is not 100%. He looks a lot like Grumbeld, who's a character from Berserk as well, just with the red hair and the big helmet. It's worth pointing that out.
Honestly, just love the design of this character as well, especially the snake that's coming out from just where the torso is and wrapping around the leg. Very cool.
It looks terrifying, yeah. I love it. But it really gives like a sort of alternate universe Godwin. Now we've got some enemies fighting, plenty to look at here. Also, I'm mindful of time, and I don't want to keep Jules forever, so I'm going to like not talk too much about these enemies.
I like this weapon here. This spell, just blasting apart people with butterflies.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
And this, being a kung fu weapon expert, is going to be amazing. Chuck a barrel at him, Donkey Kong style. Red Riding Hood in Sekiro. It's just all I'm thinking.
It does, right? I wonder if, because of the blue flowers... if this is and the fact that it's like the flowing attacks, is this a student of the same person who taught Melania the waterfowl dance? Because she learnt from a swordsman clad in blue, and basically that's why she's so good at fighting. The waterfowl dance she learned directly from this swordsman.
They hinted
who you can find talismans for.
Yeah, there's a lot of like hinted at lore and item descriptions about this swordsman, and people immediately like, well, I want to fight that. Then I want to fight that. So if they fulfill that promise, then fantastic.
So I wonder could this be a descendant of that person? Could it be another warrior? Or could this be Melania when she was younger?
Ooh, that would pose a lot of... Well, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if you're there to alter the timeline, then yeah, killing her at this point here wouldn't be too much of an issue, would it?
Also, when she says, I've never known defeat, could be a lie.
Yeah, it could be, actually. But then again, would you necessarily know defeat if you were eliminated before you were ever defeated?
There is that, and also there's the other thing as well, where she has been known, as we know from the trailer, she, instead of lose to Radahn, she nuked the place.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, she's just a sore winner, sore loser, basically.
What if this could be the first time the Scarlet Rot awakens? What if we awaken it by triggering a fight with her?
Oh, that would...
yeah,
because then
she's getting suppressed thanks to Miquella, and then she just goes full nuclear, and we're like, we've caused... this might be Caelid before.
Honestly,
this might be Caelid.
That is such a great shout that this field right here of battle could be the site of where the Scarlet Rot began. Because if you imagine the blue flowers suddenly bursting into like red flames sort of thing, that would be such a brilliant visual and tie everything together so beautifully.
Just quickly, I'm going to go back to see if there's anything in the background that, I mean, well, we've got the ruined buildings that have fallen from the sky. We've got a cliffside. I can't tell if that is directly something we've seen in Caelid before.
No, I can't place it.
I hope so now. For having said it, I hope so. But yeah, the way she fights with two swords is cool, of course, because the Millennia that we find loses an arm, but then learns to fight just with that one arm, which is pretty cool. I love that.
You could beat her in battle and chop off that arm, and then that could be her. She hasn't technically known defeat yet. She just lost a bit of herself along the way. That monster, the big rhino beast with plenty of teeth, fantastic.
Really cool.
Getting a real Orphan of Kos vibe off of that weapon that he threw around there.
I absolutely agree. This reminds me a little bit of Godric the Grafted, this sort of mutilated guy. But I think this is the dude, as you can see from the brooch, this is the dude from the portrait.
Yeah, definitely. So he's having a great time, it seems.
Well, it looks like... So the bones that are split through him look like they might be part of... So, I don't know how much you know, but when you beat... when you beat Radigan, and then Elden Beast picks up a sword, it's Radigan's spine and shoulders.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
So it looks like he's pulling his own out. Whether we fight him or whether he tears them out and hands them off to someone else to use as a weapon.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the way that it's designed with those sort of hooks going around there, it reminds me of there's a real famous Japanese ceremonial sword that's got like 7 blades along the side there, and they used it in Ninja Gaiden and Neo, and it's become quite like a sort of weapon of mythology.
Yeah,
it could be a reference to something like that, maybe.
I'd be up for that, definitely. I think there's a lot to this guy, but I don't know if we'd fight him because of how emaciated he looks. He might be that he's sacrificing himself and then hands the weapon over to... I mean, what I would personally want, and this is just pure fan conjecture, I really, really want to fight Marika in some capacity. And if that is Marika next to him, if this is her dad... This could set up that fight. That could be the real end boss, and I would love that.
Very true.
Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower vibe, you know?
Mm-hmm. What a horrifyingly beautiful visual that is, though.
Oh, yeah. And now we've got the Mesmer fight. There's plenty of that.
Which just looks, again, incredible. I'm going to lose to this so hard.
I love that new shield he's got.
It's like a shield.
You're about to see what the new weapon could do.
Yeah, you just get battered. There's going to be people that are going to build just that character for that specific reason. And then obviously we end with an incredible shot of you sprouting wings and having a battle.
Which is what the Crucible Knights do, which would tie in again to the idea that we're going to go to the Great Tree, because the Great Tree and the Crucible, they're linked, and there's a few Crucible Knights who have this sort of forgotten art. And I think that was the last of it. And then it shows, and I just want to point this out, because I've never seen this before, a DLC getting its own collector's edition. Also, this, I assume this is Mikola.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to fix the land. I mean, plot twist, it could be Marika.
It feels like...
Because there's the tree.
Yeah.
It needs help.
Yeah, you're right, because then they could just basically like put their blessing into it. Well, look at the top of the trees as well. You've got those sort of like ghostly spindle stuff coming out of the top of it. So maybe they turn gold and then it just infuses the tree. I don't know.
This ties back to what I was saying about the idea that that lion was breathing out the Dustborn and the scent of death, because that's what the world looks like when you do the Dustborn ending. This could, of course, be the Halig tree, but as I understand it, Mikola grew the Halig tree. He didn't take a tree that existed and fix it. He grew his own.
Yeah, but you know what they're like with the wording of these things. They use like grow in a very different sense. Like it may not mean grow from a seedling. It would just be a case of grow from within himself or themselves to then put into that.
You're absolutely right. It could be that, especially when the translation comes in. So there's always an argument there.
But yeah, you said that this gets its own collector's edition. It
does. So obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, it's on the screen now. The trailer releases the 21st of June, 2024, and you can pre-order it now. PS4, PS5, Xbox consoles, and PC. I was kind of wondering if they're going to shadow drop like a cloud version of Elden Ring on Switch at the same time, but that didn't happen.
But it's quite impressive. They have seemingly they've got so much stuff here, and now you can pre-order now and get some dude in a little...
Well, so what's interesting about the emote that he's doing, and it ties into my whole thing of like, you know, Mikola is just Griffith, is that the prisoner is another Berserk reference, because the helmet is very similar to the one that Griffith wears, especially when it's his armor, but he has it like locked on when he's thrown in prison, and he ends up a prisoner, and this is called the Prisoner, this guy.
Well, there we go.
And then there you go, and that is, like I said, its own collector's edition. I've never seen a DLC get one before.
It looks amazing.
Unless I have, and I'm wrong. Please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think that's very cool.
It is a very, very cool thing. It's, like I say, a bizarre move, but then again, From Software is known for making very strange moves within the industry, and not all of them are bad. So there we go, my friends. That has been What the Hell is Going On in the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion for Elden Ring. Now, I will admit, James, we've covered a lot of stuff here today.
We have.
And I still don't know that much. We are still just speculating at the end of the day, but there does seem to be the threads of what could be an epic story and many clashes for the ages. Thank you very much for running through the trailer with me and for sharing it with our lovely audience here as well. And don't forget to follow us on our social medias here on the FGS YouTube channel, as well as on X and on TikTok as well. And if you want to follow me personally, you can do so over on Instagram, where I'm at RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you can follow James Daly over on...
You can find me on TikTok, you can find me on Twitter, I'm not going to call it X, as Games Daily, at Games Daily. It's my name, but with the J has become a G.
It's very smart. Every single time he says it, I always just go like, I wish that mine was a good one like that. But still, that's been it from us today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you thought about it down in the comment section below, and we will speak to you very soon, you dirty tarnished. Bye!